the system.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Season 6, Episode 16 of the phenomenon known to mankind. A Saturday afternoon's main event. Of course, it is I. You know what? Actually, nah. Side note that. Guys, if you're dumb, stupid, blind, or just plain irrelevant, and you do not know what my name is after 6 seasons, golly, we're going to have a problem here. I suggest you go back to school, go into your library, get the biggest dictionary you can find, preferably Merriam-Webster, and look me up under the word phenomenal. It is I, the phenomenal one, and of course, here on Saturday afternoon's main event, I'm never joined alone because I have my tag team partner, my co-host, the one and only limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing son of a gun, who is not having a hard time holding his alligators down. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, give me 2 claps and a peep snatch.
Woo! Yes, sir. In the building once again. Yes, another great Saturday afternoon. I mean, the last week or so, we've seen so much wrestling. So we're going to have a lot this weekend and next weekend. Oh, boy. We hope you enjoy it.
You're definitely right on that, peeps.
Yes.
For God's sakes. But you know what? I always like to do this because it's only right. Because we got to go ahead and take it back a bit. So you know what? The current theme song, great and all. But there's something cool about this theme song as well. Peeps giving the look. I know he feels it. So you know what? It's only right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have another co-host today here on Saturday afternoon's main event. Very familiar to you guys, most well-known with us, of course, the host of Morton's Law podcast, the one and only Christopher Morton, Mr. 411.
Thank you for having me again on the show. I appreciate it. I was thinking, just as Nate was talking about a lot of things just there. Nate, what was it like when you used to roam the earth with dinosaurs? Like were you like good friends with a raptor or like a Tyrannosaurus Rex? Like,
I was always jealous of the velociraptors because I think those were the ones that had wings. So those are the ones that I could get to. If I can maybe grow some wings, maybe I can fly around and save some money.
Did you go swimming with megalodons and stuff? Was that cool?
They're not that great. They're not that great. And the T-Rexes are a little bit, they don't get they get too much of a rep because their arms are way too short.
The alligator arms, like in the football, and the wide receiver doesn't go across the middle. It's like, whoa, I'm not catching that ball.
Yes. Give me a high five. Oh, I'm sorry.
Say self high five? Yo, how funny is that? Did you guys talk about that? The DDP won that lawsuit?
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, the one with Jay-Z, right?
Yes.
Yeah, over the self high five sign. Yeah. Go figure.
How did that go? I honestly didn't even go ahead and look at the full article, but I didn't know he sued the man with it. Like, was there a settlement? Like, what happened?
I believe it was a settlement that was involved, and that's the reason why we didn't hear too much after the lawsuit was filed. But amazing how that actually came to be, you know?
Go figure.
Yeah. Huh. Only in wrestling.
Only in wrestling, exactly.
Yes.
Jay-Z's a billionaire. I'm sure he can afford to give whatever DDP was asking for him. It didn't hurt his pocket at all.
Yes.
Yeah, because literally, it's better than going ahead and taking dinner over $500K. Hopefully, it was more than $500K, right?
Yes.
I would imagine.
As long as it wasn't dinner with Jay-Z, for God's sakes. Exactly. But guys, with the three of us here, you know what it means. We're always down to business here on Saturday afternoon's main event. So we appreciate you guys that are tuning in on Twitch, Twitter, or YouTube. Look, there's only one thing and one thing that we usually do here on Saturday afternoon's main event, and that is to give you laughs, good times, and all the wrestling news possible. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. So, of course, when you hear this sound, it means one thing and one thing only. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Wrestling Crash Course. Let's fire it up with the first topic of today. Drew McIntyre. Ladies and gentlemen, as you may notice, past Monday Night Raw had the main event be Yeet Squad. That's what I'll go ahead and sit there and call him now from now on.
Yeet? Yeah, exactly.
No, peeps, not you too. But from that, we had Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes versus the Judgment Day for the Undisputed Tag Team titles, which then ended with Drew McIntyre costing Jey and Cody the match, and Drew McIntyre shaking hands with Rhea Ripley in front of the stage, which signifies some type of new member of Judgment Day, I should suppose, or maybe another Wargames member. I told you it had to be 5 peeps. But with that, I think we all know where this is going, right? Okay, so look, honestly, I already told you who I think is going to be the member of Team Cody. Peeps, I think we know where we're going with this, but you know what? Let's have Mr. 401 kind of answer this. Who do you believe might be the 5th member, if they are going to have a 5th member of Team Cody at Wargames?
I mean, look, based on the teases we're getting every week, I mean, everyone wants it to be Punk. But if it's not Punk, what makes sense? And what makes sense, I guess, is Randy Orton.
Definitely so. I sit there, I look at it, I'm just like, look, the teasers make sense. The stuff that they're doing on social media makes sense. All of that goes around for saying, and just, okay, you know what? Yes, give me Randy Orton. That makes total sense. But the honest truth for me, I see Randy turning heel after the match.
Yeah. The Viper, you can't trust the Viper.
It's the Viper, you can't trust the
Viper.
Exactly saying. I mean, I just sit there and I just look at it. You know what? Maybe that sets up for Cody's next challenge before going to get the big one.
Yeah. And also, let's also hope that Randy doesn't have any hiccups in his, health coming back. Obviously, if he's being mentioned as being in this match, then he's pretty healthy to be able to get in there and all of his surgeries, because he's been off of TV for about 18 months. And if he's recovered to the extent that he can give you 80% of what he gave you while he was hurt, if he can give you any percentage of that, then we're going to have a really dynamic Wargames match if they include him. I would love to see this, and I can't wait to see where they go from there. As far as having Orton be a heel, makes the most sense because, like you just said, he's a Viper. He's going to bite somebody.
Nothing like Wargames without blood. The WWE.
Yeah.
I'm just ready for the Cody Blade job. Like this has to be it. I kid peeps, if they do not let Cody bleed next week, I'm pissed. Okay.
Be prepared to be, because I don't think anybody's going to get busted open in any of these Wargames matches, at least not intentionally.
I mean, not intentionally, but I mean, Cody's going to be the type of person to just be like, you know what, screw the towel, don't give me no towel. I need the people to see this, okay? Forget the war paint or anything like that. I need to see the man painted face red, okay? That's all it is.
The crimson mask.
Exactly. Yes. I'm not talking Unabomb, but I digress.
First one of the day. Good grief.
First one of the day. Exactly right.
Digress.
We're now at 140.
140. Wow. This is great. This is great.
Digress Jones over here.
There you go.
Oh, man. From there, we move to another person who has been off TV since the summer, now back on TV, but no longer USA or Fox. It is now TBS. Ladies and gentlemen, Ring of Honor just got rowdy. Ronda Rousey was shown to be on a Ring of Honor taping last night, which means she was backstage at AEW, which also means she met with God Pop Tony Khan. So, how long does this last? I'm just talking to Ring of Honor reign. That's gonna be short lived because we know Tony's gonna want to go ahead and move her up to AEW sooner or later. So
Yes.
peeps,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. 411, just tell me, how long do you guys think this might actually last for? Just
Until Revolution. I think that she'll be there. I think Revolution is in March for AEW. I think for her and whatever they do with her, it's going to be brief. She's not going to be, this isn't going to be a long-term Ronda Rousey deal. I think whatever they do with her will be between now and Revolution, or maybe a little even earlier than that. And then they go ahead and they kind of leverage that with some of the talent that they have on Ring of Honor to move her onto the AEW roster. And then Tony Khan does what Tony Khan does, which is put all of his toys in the middle of the ring and have a battle royal and see what he can come up with afterwards.
I mean, this makes no sense to me whatsoever. Because why would you bring a name of that magnitude to not your A, not your B, not your C, but your D show? That's what Ring of Honor technically is under the umbrella of AEW. Why? Again, this goes under that category of what is Tony Khan doing lately?
Yeah. Even more important is the fact that we lament Tony Khan and all of these crazy announcements because he's supposed to have a big announcement for tonight at the pay-per-view of a huge signing. Speculation is going to go all over the place. But for somebody to be as big of a name as Ronda Rousey and no fanfare at all, now obviously nobody is supposedly supposed to know that this happened on the official docket unless you were already there. But in the world that we live in where everybody's got a cell phone and a camera and records something that happened at a taping, it goes right onto the internet. It goes right on YouTube or wherever you get to watch it. And then you kind of spoiled for certain things without any context. So at some point, we're going to hear an explanation as to why she's here, when she came in, and what the business of being in Ring of Honor as opposed to AEW. That'll get explained eventually. Yes. But like Chris just said, it's kind of way out there of a debut. Whereas when Ronda was in WWE, they debuted her at WrestleMania.
Right.
And she had a big match. And then all of a sudden, we go from WrestleMania to ROH's TV taping. Ooh, man, what a difference.
It's like from going from a 5-star hotel to a crack house.
Oh, boy.
What an analogy. But you see, that's what makes it so weird, because literally the day before that, I found out that she was at PW Revolver. And she took a mean bump from, I think it was Billy Starks, while interfering with a match with Athena, I guess. I for God's sakes, Ronda, you left for Ring of Honor. I mean, look, it's Ring of Honor. See, it just makes you look at Chris.
Yes, yes.
See, the laughter says it all.
Okay, this would be kind of cool if Ring of Honor wasn't under the AEW umbrella. If it was 2015, back then when Ring of Honor, it would have been cool then. Now it's like,
now it's just like, oh, hey.
It's like Triple H is sitting in his meeting room, looking at TV, and then all of a sudden he hears, "Oh, you know, Ronda Rousey just signed with Ring of Honor, right? Oh, okay. Okay, that's okay. Now, as I go back to signing a huge star for WrestleMania, it doesn't register. Like from the highest of highs to almost completely under the radar. How does somebody like Ronda Rousey go under anybody's radar? That is really, really odd.
Yo, Nate, Triple H in his meeting. Hunter, Will Ospreay on line 2.
Yes. Oh boy, I tell you, it's amazing. It's amazing.
It's amazing. Yep. But from one woman in the world of Ring of Honor, we go to another woman in the world of WWE. Becky Lynch is the 4th woman to be on Team Bianca.
4th woman? Mm-hmm. I just had to. Woo!
You know what makes it so funny? This is what makes it so funny. That 3 out of the 4 horsewomen are in the Wargames match.
Yes.
Peeps, Christ, what would have it take to King Sasha at what cost?
Well,
Stop.
I tell you, you're torturing yourself. You're torturing yourself.
Exactly.
There you go.
You ain't got to tell me twice on that. But yes, Becky Lynch is the fourth woman. Peeps, we know what it looked like on SmackDown last night. We do know that with Bianca trying to ask people from the likes of Mia Yim to Zelina Vega and having them get ambushed. And each time, Bianca had to go back to Charlotte and say, Charlotte, you know somebody. Make the call. And each time, what did it look like from Charlotte? She just said, to hell with this. I just don't want to call. And little by little, throughout the night, you had Twitter being in a frenzy talking about, will it be Jade? Is it Becky? Who can it possibly be? Is it Santina Morella? I mean, for God's sakes, the things that I saw people on Twitter saying, it just made it so funny. But deep down, I think we all knew it had to be Becky Lynch, and long behold, it was. The crowd reaction, though, it sucked. I'm not going to lie to you. It did not seem as if it was right to just go ahead and have her come out like that. The fans were just like, oh, yay, Becky. Why is she here? Like,
do you remember okay, someone talked about this, how over she was before she decided to have a leave of absence on maternity leave. She's never reclaimed that status. And people talked about it then. Was it the right time? Now, no, of course, no one can interfere with people's lives and say, you shouldn't have a baby then, or anything absurd like that. But she was as hot as she had ever been at that moment. And she has never been back to that stage. And she may never be again.
Yeah. And especially when the first thing that they did when they brought her back is turn her heel. Yep. And she made it work for what she could with it. But you could tell that was not her character, that was not her arc. And they kind of regretted doing that. They did what they could. And she turned into this crazy fashionista, almost like a horrified fashion diva. Yes, with the giant glasses and the poofy hair and the weird outfits and the robes, similar to the other side of her husband, Seth Rollins, as far as the fashion aspect of it. But as Chris just stated, it's been very hard to get her anywhere near that height that she was at when she was at her highest height. And they've been literally trying to get lightning in a bottle 2, 3, 4, 5 times. The one of the best things that they did with her is when she won that NXT Women's Championship and helped get that championship over, which I think really...
She popped the rating. The rating beat Dynamite that week.
Yes. Yep. And that's, I think, where Becky is right now until they find the right feud. And for the most part, what they've seemed to have been doing is between Becky and Xia Li, trying to use her to get Xia Li over. I don't know if Becky is right now in the mode of, I'm going to start putting people over by showing you I have the best matches in the division. But what it is doing is getting eyeballs to whatever match she's having. And I think that's where they're using her the best. And they're putting her in the match in the War Games with that mindset behind it. There you go.
Exactly right. So we look forward to next week, Saturday, in that case. But another thing we should be looking forward to is the incomparable, not so much, but grander type return of CM Punk, which might not happen, I may add, ladies and gentlemen.
You mean to tell me a Charles Montgomery Punk sighting that might not actually be a sighting?
Twitter incels going ahead and tweeting out, oh my God, is that a CM Punk reference? Let me stop. But
yes.
Throughout everything, it's literally been a full-on 2 months since we've been talking about, is there a chance that Punk would re-sign with the WWE? We've gone on to say no. We've gone on to say I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm ruling it out. Peeps and I have sat there and said, look, my expectations are low. We're not going to sit there and think too hard upon this because it's not going to happen. If it does, I will be shocked. I will be astonished, but I'm more on the side that it's not going to happen. And on top of that, Peeps Nate pulled out Nate math, not Steiner math, Nate math, with his percentages of, there's a 99.4% chance that this is not happening. Rule
Yes.
out the 0.5 though, because I'm still thinking it's not gonna happen. That was peeps for you, but I'm saying now within this week, with things that have happened, of course we know Randy Orton is gonna be coming back next week. There is no shot that doesn't happen. They started putting out matches of Randy Orton last week and throughout this whole week. Within one of the matches that they put out, I believe it was Randy Orton against Wade Barrett on a Raw. Guess who was on commentary? Yes, Charles Montgomery Punk. Not even 10 minutes later, WWE took that down. What
Is
a way to troll.
Is that the match where he talks about, my diet soda? Oh, they knocked over my diet soda. That's the one. Yes.
Exactly right, peeps. Exactly right.
Yes.
From there, WWE Shop, for God's sakes, in the UK, goes ahead and puts out pre-filled Christmas stockings that will be going and coming out, I believe, somewhere after Thanksgiving. But here's the catch, peeps. Within the pre-filled stockings, they show you what type of things they're going to be including. And just for the fun of it, they included, I believe, 2 pieces of CM Punk merchandise right in the centerfold on the picture. Yes, peeps. Why? Why would you do that? Because now, not only is it's still up there, now you're causing controversy because now people are going to be sitting there like, you're putting this out after Thanksgiving? So does this fully mean that he's... Peeps, what are we dealing with here? But you know what? We've heard about it much from you. We've heard about it from me. Chris, honestly, my friend, do you think it's happening? And what are the chances?
I mean, I just love all the Easter eggs that we're getting, which is always fun.
True.
That's the thing. I don't want to know if it is happening. I hope there is a way that they can keep this as secretive as possible until it does happen. Because I want to be surprised. I hate when I know things early sometimes because it ruins it. And the chances of it happening, why not? I mean, we've learned from the past. If Triple H can make things right with the Ultimate Warrior, he can make it right with anybody.
You got a point there.
He has a point. He has a point.
Yes.
I mean, definitely so. I mean, yeah, because that Macho Man, of course, we know about that whole fiasco. Yeah, there's a lot. But Punk, I mean, that would definitely be the way to go in certain stances. Of course, I'm still on the side of just not trying to get my.
And how about Nick Aldis recently coming out in the GM of SmackDown coming out talking about how Punk would be good for WWE, and a lot of other people doing interviews now saying, I don't know what you're talking about. Like the Punk I dealt with, there was nothing wrong. So I don't know where all these stories are coming from that he doesn't help people because he helped me. I mean, you're hearing it from a lot of wrestlers now.
Yeah, there are a lot of contradictory comments coming from a lot of wrestlers over the last, I'd say, 2 months, over that entire mindset. We know Seth Rollins and his, I wouldn't say hatred, but his extreme dislike for CM Punk is going as far as doing an interview and almost cursing him out in the interview. Oh, he's bad and he's a disease. And those are the kinds of things that you expect to hear from people that have issues. At the same time, we also know Seth is an extreme company man. So if Triple H was to go up to Seth and say, you know what, say something positive about CM Punk, even though we have no intention of signing him, just to throw everybody off, would he do it? Probably to some degree. I just think that right now it's twofold. WWE is trying to get rid of old stock, but also at the same time, we also know that they're trolling hard. And I know that Triple H and Shawn Michaels in general, those are the type of people that like to troll the internet. They've done it before. So if this is a troll job and it's one of those, card subject to change, things happen, things are different. I like that. That works.
Was that, no pun intended, right there, saying getting rid of old stock when Vince just sold $8.4 million in stock?
Aha. See there you go. Aha. Wow. 800. I think that's $800 million that he just put in his pocket. Just getting rid of old stock.
Right.
Had to be somewhere around that number. Yup. Jeez, Vince. But yes. I mean, for God's sakes, if you see the man now on a cane, face depleting. I mean,
wait, he's on a cane? I didn't know he's on a cane now.
Yeah, he's been walking around with a cane since the surgery.
Yeah,
There's gotta be a cane.
But at least he got rid of the stash, guys. That's the greatest thing about all of it. He got rid of the stash.
That's the weird thing. I actually started to get used to watching him with the mustache, and then he finally got rid of the mustache, and now he's walking around with the cane. Go figure.
It's like steroid trials all over again with a neck brace. But you know what? I digress.
There you go.
141.
Oh boy.
Jeez. But from there, that marks the end of Wrestling Crash Course today, guys. Of course, you know, if you want to go ahead and keep up with any social media updates on news or anything around that sector, all you got to do is follow us on Instagram at Saturday Afternoons _main event and on Twitter at Saturday Main, which I have a cool announcement for you guys before we go into break. Peeps, we just hit 500 followers on Instagram. What a W. What
there you go.
That is amazing. To the fans, the people that watch, the people that have liked, shared, commented.
Yes.
Look, we appreciate you guys. We thank you. In the words
we salute you.
Exactly. But in the words of Kevin Durant, you're the real MVP. Just had to.
By the way, you said something earlier about what the USO? It's called the Yeet team or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, the Yeet squad.
The Yeet squad. Could there be a Skeet squad?
Oh Lord.
Oh, God.
I think that's the wrong Saturday Afternoon's main event.
Wrong That's more Saturday night. Okay?
Yes. Saturday night, early Sunday morning.
Saturday late night. There we go. SLAME. Slame. Okay.
There you go. Oh boy.
Okay. But from there, this marks the end of the first half. When we come back, we're gonna go ahead and get to our questions, and then the last topic for today, which is our preview for tonight's Full Gear.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. Do not go anywhere because the second half of Saturday Afternoon's main event is coming up next. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to the second half of Saturday Afternoon's main event. Of course, it's the phenomenal one. Right beside him is the Peeps Nation. Right down below, right there, is Mr. Christopher Morton, Mr. 411. Of course, we're going to go ahead and get into our questions. You guys know if you want to send in a question, all you got to do is DM us on Instagram at Saturday Afternoons _main event. And I guarantee, like JBL says, that it will be featured on the next episode of the show. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get kicked in with the first one from Master Sean 007. He says, greetings, gentlemen. I would like to know which Survivor Series format you prefer, the current one or the original one. The original one was kind of like the tournament-ish, like tournament-esque.
It was the original format were what was initially called Teams of 5 Strive to Survive. And it would be 5-on-5, and then one guy would go against another guy, and then they would whittle it down until one team was eliminated. That's how the original format was. And every match on the first couple of Survivor Series were like that. It was all 5-on-5. And then I guess because of time constraints or lack of talent, they went to it like a 4-on-4. But it was usually always 5-on-5 for a while until they turned it into a couple of Survivor Series matches and then having title matches and feuds sprinkled in between.
So with that being said, Peeps, which one do you prefer?
Depending on the way that the feuds are, the current format works when you have 2 5-on-5 matches. But now that they've added the dynamic of the Wargames, I actually like the Wargames format better because it's a little more dynamic. You're going to get, because we don't have the attention span that a lot of people have when they want to watch a pay-per-view like the Survivor Series and have 5-on-5 against You got your main event 5-on-5 match. You have your B tier 5-on-5, and then you have a bunch of other 5-on-5 matches with mid-carders and maybe jobbers, because they did have a jobber Survivor Series match. So if you want to do something like that, I'm pretty sure the fans would get bored really quick. So I don't know. I personally like the current format right now.
I mean, peeps, not if you have James Ellsworth going ahead and super kicking the heck out of every jobber. Can you imagine Ellsworth?
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, I understand you on that. Chris, how about yourself? Which one do you prefer most definitely?
I agree with what Sean just said. I think the dearth of overall talent in terms of names, I think it fits better this way. Back then, there were more stars. We don't have that many stars in wrestling today. We just don't.
Yeah.
There's a lack of star power, and I think people would get bored seeing matches that no one cares about.
They could have done 5-on-5 Survivor Series matches during the Attitude Era, where every match was, because as Chris just said, there were lots more stars. There were a lot more importance to what they were building. And usually the Survivor Series matches, especially the meta interesting feuds that were going to either start or were hinted at, usually led to something that was going to happen at the Royal Rumble. So you would kind of get the genesis of the beginning of a feud in the Survivor Series match that would carry over into the next year, and then that would work that into the Royal Rumble. We don't seem to have that kind of format, although we do have a lot of talent. The WWE now is made up of a lot of factions. So those factions kind of take are like top heavy now with Judgment Day and the Bloodline, even though the Bloodline is completely fractured. And then you've got, on the women's side, you've got Damage Control and any of the other currently the way it is now. And if you're going to have a 5-on-5, put the extra incentive to stick them in a special match. And if it's War Games, then that format works perfectly fine. If we're not going to have blood, make each match as violent as humanly possible.
Definitely so. But in WWE terms, where it's PG now, you can't have chair shots over the head.
Yes.
No instances of barbed wire or thumbtacks yet. I mean, for God's sakes, people.
Well,
instead.
But I was going to say, in a women's War Games match, there might be blood, just of a different variety, depending on time.
Oh, boy.
Probably.
I think you just got a Ric Flair uppercut right in the crotch with that one, right?
Have mercy.
Have mercy. There you go. Get a superstar Billy Graham in there.
Exactly. But from there, we have a comment from Taekwon in the cut. Taekwon says, this MF named Sean, he's the first Sean ever. He invented the super kick against the dinosaur. He wrote the lyrics to Sexy Boy in hieroglyphics. Elbow dropping Julius Caesar. His tag partner is Marty Jannetty. Hard to see.
Oh, that's funny. Ironically, the Marty Jannetty thing is funny because he's actually been on social media talking about his ankle, which has been absolutely messed up for years. Mm-hmm. So for those that have been following Marty Jannetty, keep him in your mind because he's had surgery and his foot has kind of like really blown up. He's had really bad issues with the injury that he's had. It hasn't seemingly really healed. So keep him in your thoughts if you actually do care about Marty Jannetty, that's what you call a segue, folks.
Well, unfortunately, his mouth hasn't had surgery because he just likes to talk all the time.
Yeah.
He says way too many things that make people dislike him. Let's just say that.
Yeah, and I think he says way too many things that may get him in trouble down the road if it hasn't already.
The one time he said that he might have killed somebody, but we don't know. He kind of tries to call that off a rib.
Yeah,
it's a work. It's
part of the Jannetty verse. That's what it is.
guys, be for real. It's a shoot. No pun in. Well, actually, yeah.
Oh Lord, but we digress. We're gonna sound like Groot now.
Oh,
we digress.
Wow. Okay, we digress.
There you go.
We got to get Taz on the show. I think I can get Taz on the show. What if I do?
Yes, let's get Taz on the show. We digress Jones all day.
Oh, gosh. One person out of this group wouldn't like it, but I mean, you know what? Who cares? Get to have on the show. We need it. But from there, we move to the next question. Master Sean 007, we hope we answered it to the best of our abilities.
Yes.
Next one comes from Long Island, I say. He says, let's see. He says, funny, he doesn't want to open up. Huh.
I think Taz got a hold of the computer.
I'm gonna choke you out, brother.
That's my brother.
Although it will take some time, do you think he will be the closest thing to Eddie for this current generation moving forward?
You may have to read that question again because you were kind of halfway in and out.
I blocked out? Okay, you know what? Okay, I got you. It says it's been 18 years since Eddie Guerrero's passing, and plenty of the current stars in the industry have shown what Eddie's influence is on their careers. With Dominic, he continues to live the Latino heat thing very well, although it will take some time. Do you think he will be the closest thing to Eddie for this current generation moving forward?
You want to take that one, Chris?
Yeah. Well, we got to see his work rate increase. That's for sure. Because right now he's just average at best in the ring. Obviously, a face turn can happen down the road. I mean, that goes without saying for anybody.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's too early to tell right now. I mean, anybody can emerge. Look what they're trying to do right now with Dragon Lee, for example. I mean,
oh boy, he is a star.
Right?
Oh, he's a star. And then the match that he had on SmackDown was, oh man, that was to me the match of the night on SmackDown. His match with Axiom, very good match.
The Destroyers.
The only difference is like Dominic has that more of the mic work.
Yeah.
That
yes,
Dragon Lee will never have. So I mean, from that standpoint, the Latino heat aspect of it, I guess that fits there. As long as the work in the ring gets better. I mean, I guess he can improve. Anyone can.
Yeah.
You know who kind of fits the mold then? Santos. I'll say that now.
Oh, without question. His persona embodies Eddie Guerrero's gimmick with the Latino heat aspect of his character. I think what we see from the current wrestlers that are there that are in the mold of an Eddie Guerrero, the one thing that they either have is all wrestling ability and not being able to cut a promo, being able to cut a promo but not having the wrestling ability, or being middle of the road in both categories and not marketable enough. So what we're seeing now is a wave of wrestlers that we've seen. You see Dragon Lee, who is a star as far as I'm concerned. Axiom, who was known on the independents as A-Kid, very good wrestler, but is not as marketable per se yet. They're trying to get him toward the younger crowd, and the camera cuts that they've been using, it works. Dominic is a ways off because he can't cut a promo worth his life. And I think that what they've been doing is they're masking his promo skills with the audio sweetening of him being booed out of the building and the fans actually helping by booing him out of the building. So until they can get him back to a level where he can cut a promo and not sound so lost a lot of times, because he almost sounds like when he's cutting a promo, he's almost lost as to where to go. His in-ring work is improving. He's had some really good matches in NXT. The match he had with Wes Lee, he has had some tremendous tag matches, and they kind of kept him in tag matches until they put the North American Championship on him. So what they're doing is bringing him along slowly with a parachute. And then they're going to take that parachute away from him and just let him go. And I think he's going to do well. But as far as the next Eddie Guerrero, that's a huge ask for anybody. And I don't think there is a next Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Definitely so. Definitely so. Not Taekwon Cheese. R. Kelly's favorite wrestler is A.
Oh, man. Oh, good grief. I guess I set that one up, huh?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you actually did.
Done. Drip, drip, drip.
Oh, Lord.
Chappelle
Oh, boy.
Greatest parody song of all time. I kid you not. You hit it on the marker, Chris. Honestly, the only thing to make my life come through is when I turn your face. Let me shut up.
Yes.
But from there, we move to the last question, and it comes from Tombstone City Adam. He says, Punk merch that's never been released is in pre-filled stockings in UK shop. You can't tell me no now.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
The Obama comment. There you go, Pete.
Yes, we
Pete
can.
Next for president, ladies and gentlemen, for the 15th time. This is like his 15th time throughout, like 1776.
Yes,
so,
thank you.
Yeah. Pete's for president.
Yes.
Put that on a shirt. But from there, this marks the end of the question side of Saturday afternoon's main event. Of course, we appreciate the questions, guys. We thank you guys. They were good. If you guys want to send in more, all you got to do is one thing and one thing only. DM us on Instagram at Saturday afternoons_main event. It will be featured on the next episode of the show. I promise you that.
I have a question.
Repeat that.
How painful was that segment on Raw between Zoe Stark and Rhea Ripley? I mean, that was hard to watch. It was really bad because the crowd did not care at all. It was like you could hear a pin drop during that segment.
Yes. And I'm a huge Zoe Stark fan. Phenomenal One knows I talk a lot about Zoe Stark. I'm a huge fan of hers. And the fact is, since the Trish Stratus feud ended, they have had a hard time trying to get something that has given the fans a reason to get behind her. And it just doesn't resonate for whatever reason. And it's showing up that way.
She's very generic, let's be honest. And even Rhea struggled in that segment because Rhea sometimes, I don't know if she has a hand on her writing, which she may, who knows, but she's too wordy. Like her stuff just goes on and on and on. It needs to be cut down a little bit. She
can be a bit verbose, but depending on what she's doing, it works depending on who she's talking about. She doesn't have to be as wordy with everyone, similar to with John Cena, what he did in before the he did like a 30-second promo. He did what he did, was scathing, dropped the mic and walked out. He didn't have to do the same exact type of promo against every opponent. That's kind of similar to what Rhea can start doing. And she's very forceful with how she does her promos and is very believable for the most part, especially when she's angry. And I think an angry Rhea is probably the best Rhea when it comes to cutting promos.
But you could tell even both of them knew that this segment was failing epically. And you can see it on their faces like, where do we go from here?
Yeah. Who's the heel? Who's the face? And it got tough. Yes.
Yeah. From there, get into the last topic for today. That's Full Gear, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, tonight, emanating from the Kia Forum in Inglewood, California, we have a stacked card of the main card being 8 matches, but the full card being at least 11.
Yes.
Peeps, for the first time, it doesn't seem like AEW has so much of a crazy card.
Yeah, it's quite confined. And from what I'm looking at, there are obviously a lot of tag matches, but you have to consolidate by getting as much talent on a big show as you can. So this is they have another pay-per-view in December, but this is a major pay-per-view for them. So you have to load the card and get as much talent as you can without having 35 matches.
I mean,
each match will still go 43 minutes, so we'll be there till 2 a.m.
True. Just be glad there's no Ring of Honor taping at the end of the show.
Right. Yeah, I'm not getting out of Buffalo Wild Wings till 7 in the morning, guys. Just a heads up. I'll let you know that ahead of time. But geez, okay. So look, just within last night, well, somewhere between Wednesday and Friday night, they added 2 more matches to the card. So now it's like, okay, these are going to be on the pre-show. First match, Eddie Kingston versus Jay Lethal for the Ring of Honor World title. It's going to hurt for me to say this, but I got Jay Lethal. For some reason, now I got Jay Lethal. I don't know. something about having Jeff Jarrett in your corner just makes it worthwhile to the point that, hey, listen, okay. Yeah, Jay Lethal for the win on this one. What do you guys think?
I think Kingston is going to win this match because of how they instigated this whole thing. I think Lethal, the mindset of Lethal going in and saying, look, I'm going to be Ring of Honor World Champion again. And it also kind of touches on what Kingston was talking about as the show was going on, as far as the promo was going. And the promo that he cut was basically, you're not the same Jay Lethal that I knew of 10 years ago. You've turned into one of them. And in a negative aspect, basically saying, you're not the same guy. You just basically turned into somebody that's soft. You want to be comfortable. You're not the same Jay Lethal that I saw as a dominant Ring of Honor champion. So I think with that being said, and the fact that Kingston just won the belt, I think this is going to be a successful title defense for Kenny Kingston.
Definitely so.
I agree with that. I think Jay Lethal hasn't been used correctly at all in AEW, and now going back to Ring of Honor, it just seems like they don't know what they're doing with him. I feel like he should be a bigger deal on an AEW show, and Ring of Honor should be something of his past, and he doesn't need to go back and do that over.
Chris, what do you feel?
Yeah, I really feel that Eddie Kingston's gonna retain here.
True. Okay, well, we'll just give it time and see then.
Okay.
What's going on? Did we lose our host?
I think Tony Khan got to him.
DTD.
How dare you speak ill of the great? Good grief.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yes. Go figure. What I'll do is basically looking right now at
you have the card.
Kingston and Lethal.
Right.
The second match that's going to be on the pre-show is going to be MJF and now Samoa Joe defending the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships against the Guns. And the reason why that happened is because if we recall looking at AEW's show, what they've been trying to do is base the fact that MJF has absolutely no friends. Adam Cole is hurt. He's had surgery. Apparently his ankle, somebody put a grenade in his ankle and blew it up. So he's out for the foreseeable future. And MJF has burned so many bridges. And I personally kind of like what they've done with MJF as far as there's so many people after him. He has nobody that he can trust. And last night, or the recurring theme that they've been trying to use is MJF needs a partner to defend the tag team championships, even though he said he was going to do it himself. Instead of him doing it himself, what ends up happening is Samoa Joe decided to come in and say, you know what? I'll offer to be your tag team partner at a cost.
Right.
If you give me an AEW world title shot, to the extent that last week Samoa Joe relinquished the Ring of Honor television championship just because he was bored with it being the champion. So now
a slap in the face to the lineage of that title, by the way.
Yes.
Doesn't get that, so that's just.
It doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm looking at it from the standpoint of, okay, though, what are they going to do with the television championship? They're going to have yet another tournament.
Of course.
But that's going to be television. As far as the AEW 0 Hour show, what do you see with this match against the Guns?
Oh, we have our host is back.
Did Tony Khan finally let you out of the dungeon?
Tony Khan is a piece of walking trash. Don't do me like that on my own show. God.
You sound like your uncle right there.
Yeah, I know how crazy, right? It's but yeah,
yes.
Sorry guys, technical difficulties. I guess Tony Khan and Aubrey Edwards and Rick Knox kind of got use of my IP address. But don't worry, we're back. I don't know what you guys covered, but I appreciate you guys for carrying through.
We were actually going after the MJF Samoa Joe tag team championship match, and we kind of set it up as far as how Samoa Joe is now the partner for now with MJF. And let's see what you think. First of all, I'll go to Chris and figure out what do you think is going to happen with this match. Who do you think comes out of this?
I think it's time. I mean, just based on the guns and where they're going with them, I think it's time for them to win this title here. I mean, although you could say it's a step down again, because what does Ring of Honor really mean at this moment? So I don't know. I think like the whole booking aspect of Ring of Honor makes zero sense. I think, and again, it goes back to what you said about Samoa Joe. Okay, so if he's his tag team partner and he's going to now get a title shot down the line, we've already seen MJF beat him. My thought is this: if you're booking long term, well, then for Samoa Joe to get that rematch, you want to have him then beat MJF, which isn't going to happen. So now you're going to beat Samoa Joe again? None of this makes sense.
Yes.
Not wrong on that. Well, for me, I mean, I think that this is now around that time where they do go ahead and set this up for the Guns to win. Because there's no way in hell that I see MJF and Samoa Joe coexisting. Ain't no way that's happening. So we know that's going to be a loss in that book. So that already settles it. The Guns are going to go ahead and win this match. That's subtly what it is for me.
I'm pretty sure Joe is going to turn on MJF at some point.
Yes.
And definitely leave him laying so he can get his title shot. And then you still got Adam Cole wondering, see, all of these things that have happened while I'm not around and I couldn't help my friend. So you've got that aspect of it. The Guns can walk around with Bullet Club Gold and say, we've got championships now. It's Ring of Honor championships, but it's still gold nonetheless. And they can use that to further enhance the Guns as they get even better, which kind of makes the fact that the Guns won the AEW World Tag Team Championships makes it seem like it never happened because it was premature. They only had the belts for like a month and then they lost the belts. So they would have been better off not having the belts so that when they finally did win the belts, it would seem special. But getting the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships, I think that works for them for what they're planning on doing with their presentation.
Yeah. But Peeps, you said something about Adam Cole.
Yes.
You really... We'll get to this later. Because I have a lot to cover on that one.
Okay.
Third match of the pre-show shows, which was announced last night, Buddy Matthews versus Claudio Castagnoli. Finally, after how long, we got a collision last night that was not only good, but it showcased so much out of the talent.
Yes.
And honestly, this match, although it's going to be on the 0 hour, I'm looking forward to this match.
Yes.
A lot. Castagnoli versus Matthews, I expect this to be hard-hitting, fast-paced, filled with agility from these two men. I expect a lot of cool moves. I expect high-flying ability. There's so much. And then, of course, the uppercuts. But what do you guys look to see in this match? I'm looking to see Buddy Matthews gain pinfall. What do you guys see?
I think from what I'm seeing, I'm thinking Claudio is going to win. And the reason why is he's still in anger mode for Bryan Danielson's injury. And I think that if they're trying to use that as motivation to get him over, to maybe get him a title shot somewhere down the road, then Buddy Matthews has to be another person that he beats. Although, like you said, it's in the 0 hour pre-show. It makes sense that this could have been a main pay-per-view match, and it would have been probably one of those matches that stole the show.
Yes.
I think that's what we're looking at here. I think that Claudio is going to come out of this on top.
Yeah, this is one of those show stealers that they're going to hide because they don't want to actually steal the main show. Because you can argue this might be the second best match on the card next to the main event. And I mean, the match we'll talk about later, Hangman and Swerve has a chance too. But this match right here will be a wrestling classic.
Yes.
I don't know how much time they'll give it. But as far as who wins, I couldn't tell you much about the storyline because I haven't been watching a lot lately. But it'll be just something good to watch.
Mm. So who do you have winning?
Oh, I'll just flip a coin. I'll take Buddy.
Okay.
Pete, you're on your own on this one, man.
Yeah, I'm out on a limb.
It's all right. It's all right. So from here, we move away from the 0 hour matches. Now we get into the actual main card. Timeless Tony Storm, the challenger.
I love this gimmick. I love that gimmick. Oh, I love that gimmick.
the Marilyn Monroe starlet herself against Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's World Championship. Funny enough, I was talking to a coworker, and I sat there and I told him, yo, are you going to be ready for this match? Because this match is going to be heavy hitting. He's like, which one? I'm like, oh, Toni Storm versus Hikaru Shida. He's like, oh, Toni Storm champion? I'm like, no, Hikaru Shida. It's like, when did she win back the belt? I instantly just sat there and said, wow. And that's the thing. It's like they're playing hot potato with this women's title. Mm-hmm. And honestly, for me, I just want it to be in the hands of somebody who can make it something. Hikaru Shida, always loved Hikaru Shida. But it's like, if you're going to go ahead and put the title on her, have her then lose it, then have her regain it back, all within a span of how many months? You're going to sit there and tell me that this is going to be something worthwhile? She's going to have a long reign? No. I love Toni Storm. Put it on Toni Storm. Toni Storm wins this match. My final answer. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm with Toni Storm also. I never got why they put it back on Shida, especially when they put it on Saraya, and then she didn't lose it immediately like we thought she would after she won it in England. She kept it the week after, and then she continued to hold it, and then just randomly drops it to Shida because, again, Tony's, what do we call it? Nonsensical booking, erratic booking, helter-skelter booking. I mean, it's just, what is he doing? I mean, it's an indictment on the company in general. And when you think about it long term, it's like when AEW first started, right? AEW was the hot chick. You wanted to see it. You wanted to see it. And then over time now it's become the chick that is in the bar at 4 a.m. when you're ready to go home and you're debating whether or not you want to take her home because, you know, you kind of lose your self-esteem.
Chris, you got it wrong, man. AEW is now that high school sweetheart that you used to mess with back at high school, and you see her 40 years later, and she's like, oh my gosh, you know I had a crush on you, and you're just like, well, you never wanted me back then, and I certainly do not want you now. That is what it feels like, honestly speaking.
Wow.
I'm just keeping it a buck. It's like, what? Lady done grown old, had kids, face not looking the same thing as it was 40 years before that, so you think I'm going to go ahead and go after it? No, I'm not going to pursue it. So that's what I'm saying. It's like,
okay, I can understand that.
Peeps, I know you've been around for centuries, so you would know.
Yeah,
I've seen it all. Woo!
I feel this. I feel everyone is just holding that title right now for Jamie Hayter when she's healthy.
Honestly speaking, yes. Just waiting for Jamie to go ahead and come back. That's all it means, honestly speaking. So
they missed. It's amazing. They missed because of her injury. They missed a huge match for All In London. Oh man. Yeah. Man.
Does Thunder Rosa still work there, by the way?
Someone had to break the ice.
Yeah, she's still there, but we don't know at what capacity.
Because Peeps, what did she on like Collision a couple of months ago when she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go ahead. I need to speak to Tony Khan, I think it was like Papa Tony."
Yes, you saw her walk in the door and never come back out. So she might still be in the office somewhere in a closet or under a chair or from a chandelier. We don't know where she is right now.
Alternate universe.
Well, I mean, Miro did walk in after, so probably Miro just sent her to the Shadow Realm, maybe the Gulag. Who knows? Like. Something of that. It's
one of the greatest mysteries right now in wrestling. Like, what happened to her? It's crazy how she just vanished.
Yes. Really odd.
But it's funny because we have somebody in the chat here on YouTube. His name is Corey Richmond. It might be his first time here. Welcome, man. We appreciate you. He says Thunder Rosa is clear to return. So it's
cool.
Then when I need to see her back. I'm honestly of the mindset that if we have Thunder Rosa back, we're looking to see good wrestling at its finest with certain people on a card.
Wouldn't it be interesting if Thunder Rosa actually came out during this match, cost Shida the belt because she wants to get at Toni Storm? That could be something they could use. I mean, Thunder Rosa hasn't been on television in months. So just an idea to kind of use her at some point.
That would make sense. That honestly would make sense. Huh. No, we'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens. See what happens. From there, we move to the fifth match. 6-man tag team match. The Patriarchy, which is also Christian and his illegitimate sons against Sting, Darby Allin, and Adam Copeland.
His father and son on a pole match. Oh man.
Viagra, and gay. What else is in this match?
Oh man, it's crazy that I never thought in 2023 we would be talking about Christian carrying a feud for a company. That's literally what Christian has been doing.
How about the fact that Sting is in this match? How about forget about Christian, Sting?
What about the fact that Ric Flair is going to be in their corner? Who would have thought that 6 months ago or 6 weeks ago?
Wait. Is there Vegas odds that Flair will take a bump in this match?
Or he'll blade during the show.
Flair's gonna do exactly what's gonna happen. Luchasaurus is gonna come out of nowhere, attack Flair. Flair's gonna take a cool little bump. Then he is going to pick Flair up, set him into a ring post. Flair's gonna sell this easily. And then once he gets up, pull of his own blood while the blade is still in his hand because he forgot to drop it under the ring. I kid you not.
Wait. Are you sure he'll actually get up? He might die right there. How do you know he's getting up?
I know peeps would most easily hate Full Gear after that because there is no way.
Oh boy!
Imagine a certain.
By the way, have they done any skits or like vignettes with Christian Cage actually going on a date with Nick Wayne's mom? I mean, is he like officially tapping that?
They haven't done those vignettes yet. But they've teased a couple of things where Christian has gone up to Nick Wayne's mom prior. And so you want to slide into your DMs and understand.
I know all that. I know the past. I was wondering if they've taken a step forward with that, where he's now calling him dad. I
tell you, that would be something. Stay tuned. They probably will do something like that. But who do you have winning this match? I actually have Sting, Darby, and Adam Copeland winning.
It's Copeland's first pay-per-view match.
They're not losing. There's no way.
There's no way they're losing. You know.
And Nick Wayne will probably take the loss, if not Luchasaurus. Somebody's gonna. Christian's not gonna.
This is how I see it ending. Nick Wayne going ahead and going up top with his high-flying ability, comes off the ropes, tries to ambush Edge. Spear, exactly. Edge. I'm so sorry. IWC, forgive me. Adam Copeland.
Hey, remember Renee Paquette actually made a mistake and called him Edge on a pre-show for the last pay-per-view. So,
you mean like Taz the other night when he called instead of Paul White, he called him Show? He says,
"Yeah,
Hobbs High Show."
Oh, I digress, Jones, brother. Oh boy!
Or when Renee Paquette said the gang bang gang. That was
I know she got a lot of grief about that one.
Definitely. Have mercy. But from there, I guess we all have Sting, Darby, and Adam winning this match. From there, we have the singles match for the international title. Cassidy versus Moxley, Part 7.
Yeah.
Notice
ironically, these two have good chemistry in the ring. For all of the druthers that we give Moxley and the type of match that he has. And the fact that Orange Cassidy is a very good wrestler outside of that stupid gimmick that he has. When they do wrestle, they have really good chemistry. And the match that they had that was the main event of the previous pay-per-view, there was a reason why that was the main event. That was the best match of the show.
I don't know, because for me, I kind of like the gimmick. The gimmick, come on.
All the video game nerd marks that their fan base is. I mean, no offense, Phenomenal One. They love that gimmick.
And we get it. He's supposed to be a slacker. We understand that aspect of it.
Here's the thing. I'm like MJF when it comes to things like this. I love video games, right? Yes, I love video games. But that was before I lost my virginity. Okay.
Wait, but you're also not bringing signs to shows telling people which video game is better than another, which I'm sure you've seen online.
Yes, that's all over the AEW crowd. Like Final Fantasy is better than this, or that's supposed to be a wrestling show. The last time I checked, anyway.
This is what is filled with. It's funny because I heard this thing back a couple of weeks ago, where there was like this WWE casual fan who went to an AEW show, was ringside, I think, around like the ramp area, and she's a Roman Reigns mark. I'm keeping it a $150 with you. The way she rants, this girl literally baked the cake for Roman's birthday, just to bake the cake. That look, Christmas face. the side eye that he looked up at.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. So
Wow.
ends up going to the show. She says that she's only there for Kenny Omega. Goes on Twitter, and I guess some people that were kind of around her kind of knew who she was. So as she's tweeting some of these things out, she says they smell like crap. She says that they haven't taken a shower in days, it seems. I don't get how AEW fans can be like this. I'm just here for Kenny Omega. Then what we heard was that she made a comment about Roman Reigns. And the fans literally let loose on her. So, yeah, kind of like, just ambushed her verbally to the point that she left the building. But that's this is the entire nature of AEW. That's, of course, the casuals. Yes, they got issues as well. I'm not knocking that. But listen, the AEW fans that are the diehard AEW fans, peeps, I'm like, hey, you can't. They are very, very hardcore for a lot of the talent that's there.
It's and one thing about 800,000 strong cult.
and I don't think there's anything. First of all, the whole idea of being a fan is just shortened for fanatic. We know that everybody has a fan of every wrestler has a fan. Phenomenal One is a Undertaker fan. I'm a Flair fan. Chris is a Warrior fan. We're all fans of particular wrestlers from particular genres that we connect with.
Exactly.
But at the same time, there are some fans that go overboard. I mean, there's one thing to be a super fan, to be like Vladimir, who I think embodies what a super fan is, and didn't take it to any super extreme where it was harming other fans and hurting their enjoyment of the product. But then you do have fans that are out there that will go online or will be at the show and will almost threaten physical bodily harm to other fans for just enjoying who they enjoy and what they enjoy. And that's not what's supposed to happen.
That explains the all-out Twitter mark war for WWE versus AEW. This is what we deal with on a daily basis, peeps. This is what makes it. But
and it goes back to our pre-show conversation about the attendance and how they're taking screenshots of empty arenas clearly before the show even started. Because if you go on WrestleTix, look, AEW's having domestic attendance issues. We know this. However, we also know if you went on WrestleTix that they're
selling out.
No, they're not. But they're
not. But they're getting most of the tickets sold that they actually have out.
Not for Dynamite and Collision, but they're doing better for the pay-per-view. Like tonight, they're doing over 10,000. However, for last night, they did about 4,000, and people are showing pictures online that there's no one there, which is not true. So you're clearly just fabricating to just be a mark, and that's just ridiculous. And it goes both ways because AEW fans do it with WWE pictures. It's like, again, it's petty and it's juvenile, and it's a lot of what wrestling fans are. Let's be fair.
Yep. That's true. That is true.
Okay.
But, still in this sense, I think someone has Orange Cassidy on this. I'm not the only one, right?
I based on what they've been trying to tell, it looks like they want to keep the belt on Orange. But at the same time,
I'm saying so for the reason that Moxley has already beat Cassidy for the title. If we remember All Out.
Yeah.
And honestly speaking, Cassidy needs his revenge.
Well, also, Moxley cut that promo he cut on Dynamite after he beat the crap out of him.
That was really deep. Yeah.
So
I'm actually going to go on a limb and say Moxley wins the belt. Moxley doesn't need this championship as much as I think Cassidy does, because Cassidy did a great job of the streak of him holding on to that belt as long as he did was kind of elevated that championship. So unless Pac is coming back soon to reclaim the belt himself, I think that Moxley winning the belt would work based on the promo that he cut.
I mean, I think I don't know. Then are you essentially then saying Cassidy is done in terms of that upper echelon card guy? Because if he loses, where's he going from there? He's dropping down the card. So.
Maybe, but at the same time, it depends on what they do with the best friends. What do they do with title shots? Because they do have the TNT championship. He could potentially go after from Christian Cage? Do you see him in a tag team? They can do a number of things, but I think that right now Cassidy's lane is this championship run. If the idea is to make this championship as prestigious as they want it to be, Cassidy holding onto the belt and having a lot of good matches with other talent is good. If the idea is to get Moxley over, even though he doesn't need this championship, to say we're going to have a third match between these two, then yeah. Because remember, they got a pay-per-view next month. And it's more, this seems like the next pay-per-view, which is called World's End, this seems to be more like AEW's version of the G1 tournament. It's going to be like a round robin kind of tournament, and wrestlers in leagues winning points and that kind of thing. So if that's what the case is, and those two aren't going to be in this tournament per se, they can have a third match at the end of the year where Cassidy would win it back from Moxley, if that's what they want to do. But I think Moxley's going to
initiation into the AEW cult. You have to drink Moxley's blood. Is that how it works?
I don't think you have to. I think he forces everybody to at this point.
If not, you take like 13 skewers to the head. That's what I'm hearing.
So, Chris, you've got Cassidy winning.
I guess, yeah, fine.
Okay.
All right.
Didn't sound too. There wasn't a lot of courage of your convictions of that one.
I can't pretend to care about this match. I'm not a fan of either guy. I'm just not. Sorry.
It's understandable.
All right. Well, from that match, here's a match that we might be intrigued about and we are looking forward to. The Texas Death Match between Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland.
Yes.
Alongside Prince Nana. Okay, just had to
get Nana, do the dance, Yeah, the crowd was into it on that.
Oh, they love that. They love Nana. They love Prince Nana.
Nana is a national treasure, okay?
Yes.
Definitely
he is.
So, really speaking on this, I want Swerve to win this.
Yeah, Swerve has to win this.
Yes.
No ifs, ands, or maybes.
Because he's ready to take that next step. When we talk about title picture situation,
without question. He should have a belt within the next 6 weeks, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, definitely.
Listen, Adam Page has been on a precipitous drop ever since winning the title, and he's never done anything to reclaim that. He's kind of like Becky Lynch in WWE. He's never going to be that guy again, I don't think, because he ruined himself in many ways.
Yes.
On the mic specifically, he cannot cut a promo to save his life.
Yeah.
Don't forget the infamous "I'm defending AEW from you."
Yeah. Right. His beef with Punk is what kind of exacerbated his precipitous downfall in the eyes of a lot of fans, because although he does get chants, it's nowhere near what it was when he was AEW World Champion, or at least when he was going after the championship.
But honestly,
I was a fan of this guy. I'm sorry to interrupt. I was a fan of this guy long before AEW. When he was Ring of Honor, when he was doing New Japan, he was hot. Like, this guy was really good, and he was new, fresh.
When he was in Bullet Club, he was really good back then.
But over time, he got overexposed, and we learned what he really is, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, and honestly, I think what else had to kill it was the moment Punk went ahead and came back, and Punk kind of said what he said in the ring, with like kind of going into business for himself and just being like, "Yo, listen, like, if you have the fortitude, come out here and face me. This isn't cowboy-ish. It's it's no longer cowboy-ish. Like, come out here and face me. It's coward-ish."
Yes,
right.
Page to come out, whatever the case may be, and fans were just like, "Oh well, there we go." But of course, we found out that he wasn't even there at the show, whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
but it's the little things like that. We've kind of lost faith in Page. Page is never gonna go ahead and hit the peak that he was at long before. That's way past his prime. Now it's time for the big boys to come in. Swerve Strickland for the win. I think all three of us go ahead and agree.
I think it's a Swerve sweep in this one.
Well, although here's what we'll learn. I think if Swerve, the question is, a lot of people talked about the Young Bucks and their political power backstage, and remember, Page is part of that in terms of he's in their clique. So if he ever won tonight, then we know the Young Bucks have a little bit more power than we thought, which a lot of people are suggesting they're losing daily.
Mm-hmm. But I think the elite, the EVPs, I don't think they have a problem with Swerve. So if they think that they can get Swerve into a position where they can as a company make more money with him at the top of the card, especially with the promos that he's cutting and the matches that he's having, it makes the most sense to make this guy a bigger star than he already is.
Yeah,
that's
listen,
the question.
They've been on his podcast, Swerve's podcast, so I'm not saying they're not cool. I'm just saying when it comes down to it, who knows who's real behind the scenes? Like, are they going to back Page over Swerve? It's just about that thought. That's all.
Yes.
Well, from there, with us setting in the brooms for the Texas Death Match, we have the next match, which is a tag team match. The Golden Jets, what a name, versus the Young Bucks.
Yes.
And if the Golden Jets win, they will get the Young Bucks' AEW World Tag Team title shot. But if the Young Bucks win, Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho must disband the Golden Jet Group.
This might be the worst stipulation in the history of wrestling. This is so stupid.
Someone had to
care. It's just Tony Khan running out of ideas. He doesn't know what to do anymore.
Yep. So for the laymen out there that are just looking at the product, the stipulation is the Young Bucks, who won a tag team title match, are putting their championship opportunity on the line against a team that, if they lose, will disband after being together for 35 minutes. That's the stipulation of the match.
It's horrible. It's so
worse. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, please.
How long ago did the Young Bucks win that number one contender match? It's been
about a month ago. It's been about a month.
Exactly. It's been that long.
I think it's roughly been more than that. And the fact is, we haven't heard them being. Why wouldn't they get a title match? How come one hasn't been announced?
Unless it's one of those stipulations that they explain that they can get the title match when they want the title match. They don't explain that on camera, then nobody knows what the situation is. And it's just, we got a title match. That's nice to know. When is it? Are they going to have the match on Dynamite? Are they going to have the match on Collision? Are they going to have the match at the next pay-per-view, World's End in Long Island?
What is it?
When?
Tag team Money in the Bank?
Is it a feast or is there going to be a feast or famine briefcase at the end? Oh, wait a minute, that's Tia.
You would think that they stayed up all night partying and did cocaine. Oh wait.
Oh, wow.
Rockers ish.
Man.
If I had to pick, I'm gonna say the Young Bucks. I had to say Young Bucks.
I'm not even.
I'm trying to figure out if Omega and Jericho get the title shot, they would be going up against potentially Starks and Big Bill.
Yeah.
Potentially.
I know
that would
get 35 minutes, right?
And so
and then you beat, of course. See, they've been gone so long. I feel. What happened to them, by the way?
Starks and Big Bill.
No. The former tag team champions that, for whatever reason, I'm drawing a blank on.
What, FTR?
Yeah, where the hell they go?
Oh, they're actually in a match?
They're in a match, yeah. As a matter of fact, they're in the... They're getting a tag team title shot later on in the show. Yeah. It's a four-way dance ladder match for the tag team championships. That's where FTR is at. Well, I guess getting into that, we'll kind of figure out what makes sense with the Golden Jets Young Bucks match. If, depending on who wins that match, whether it's Ricky Starks and Big Bill, or if FTR wins the belts, I have a feeling that the Bucks will be the ones that come out of that. If they're going with Ricky Starks and Big Bill, then it makes sense that Omega and Jericho continue on. And they get the title shot.
Yeah, there's no way Starks and Big Bill are retaining these titles, which is why then it also doesn't make any sense. Why did you take them off of FTR? What was the point there?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, one of the guys from, I think it was it Cash Wheeler that got hurt, which was the reason why they took the belts off of them so that they could kind of rest up.
That, and he was kind of handling legal issues. Course, from,
yeah. You mean he was trying to get something else to become all of
it. He wanted to be Arn Anderson for Halloween before Halloween was even around,
Yes.
That's what it was. Yeah, Glock 9R.
So I guess all of us are thinking the Bucks are winning this.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Well, yeah, definitely. Now it makes sense if they're going to do that third match finally.
They're going to do that third match, yeah. So
it's a Bucks sweep.
Yeah. Next, three-way match for the AEW TBS Championship. Statlander, Hart, Sky Blue.
Sky Blue who? Who did Sky Blue?
I guess if we finish that, we're gonna get into some trouble. Oh man, I have okay. If Statlander, as they've been trying to build her up, she's been champion now since she beat Jade Cargill. It's been what, 3 months, roughly?
Yeah.
3 months. Is she going to hold on to that belt afterwards to continue the streak, or is it going to be Sky Blue's time since they're starting to seemingly turn her into more of a tweener before she goes full heel? Julia Hart, is she ready to be a champion now, even though she's improving in the ring? I think Statlander is going to win this match somehow. I just don't see Statlander losing this match.
Real quick, sidebar. How about Jade Cargill doing the opposite of Ronda Rousey, going from the outhouse to the penthouse versus the 5-star to the crack house?
Ooh, good point.
You can't make anything of it. Like, damn it.
No,
Ronda
you
Rousey
can't.
really went to the trap. That is, jeez.
Yes.
Oh well. Sucks to be her.
Yes.
Anywho. So I guess
I think Sky.
I'll say
See,
Statlander on my
the thought. I think a lot of people are thinking that maybe Sky Blue might come out of this with the championship.
For me, what I wanted was Julia Hart.
I think Julia Hart's the better worker.
Oh yeah, without question. Yes.
Like, I would have loved to see Julia Hart go ahead and pin Statlander like Sky Blue, but it's like, now the more that I sit here and I just heard what Peep said, I'm just like, maybe Statlander does come out of this alive.
Yeah. Because if she beat Jade Cargill, that win has to carry longer than 2 or 3 months. Yeah. And if that's what the case is, Julia Hart, although she is good and she's improving, is she ready to be a champion, still part of the House of Black, when the House of Black have no belts themselves? What do you do there?
They did it with the Judgment Day with Rhea Ripley only holding the title at one point. Let's be for real.
That is true.
What would we do, or what would the guy who's booking do? See, there's where
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So, you know what? We'll give it time. As I said, I'm gonna stick with Statlander on this one, just for now. Okay. As I said, my dark horse would have been Julia Hart.
I'm rooting for Julia Hart, so I'll say Julia Hart. Yes. I don't care if I'm wrong.
Okay.
All right. Now
Julia the Hit Woman Hart.
Yeah.
The excellence of true execution.
Well, I'm just gonna root for Sky Blue's ass the whole night. Is that okay? Can I root for her ass the whole night?
And what are they doing? Here's 2 things I have to ask about what they're doing with Sky Blue. Okay, we know she got misted in the face, so that's where this dark makeup is. What's with the Scooby-Doo outfit? That's what I'm trying to figure out. They have her ring attire is patterned after the Mystery Machine from Scooby-Doo. So it's not Halloween anymore. What are they doing?
I'll say this. She could Rikishi sting face me all night long.
Oh, good grief. You're not going to get a Digress Jones for me on that one.
Chris goes ahead and asks her just in the same form, can you do it for 3 Scooby snacks? Like,
roll.
Mercy.
Oh man, superstar Billy Graham is just saying, "Have mercy." Oh boy!
Didn't the Boogie Man also say that later in his career too, Sean?
Oh Lord!
Right?
Coming to get
I'm just gonna pull a Booker T now. Tell me he didn't just say that.
So I guess
enter like Snitsky. It's not my fault.
Oh boy!
With the 10th match, we did go ahead and get into this a little bit earlier, so I guess we're gonna go ahead and sit here and say FTR wins this match.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. FTR.
Okay. Now, last match of the night, the main event, the singles match AEW World Championship. The champion, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF versus the Switchblade, Jay White. Got MJF. You can't knock this. Of course, we would love to see Jay White go ahead and take a W, but it's just gonna have to be MJF. But what I do see is MJF getting ambushed by the Devil in Disguise and his henchmen,
which is, of course, Adam Cole and.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think most people think that that's the case.
Yes.
Mhm.
See, this is what I like with my team here. We think alike. This is golden. This is golden. Not like the Golden Jets, but this is golden. Here's the thing. Okay. There is a new promotional poster that AEW put out this morning with these two men right here, but the key of form right under them. And of course, the Devil in Disguise and the henchman behind him. Here's what I'm thinking. Dude in the devil mask most definitely is Adam Cole, due to the fact that the first time we saw him around, notice that he wasn't the one going ahead and doing any of the hitting. Notice that he was just standing there watching his henchmen do the hitting for him. Another one of the men that were actually masked could go ahead and make out a neck brace in it. Gonna go ahead and stick there and I'll honestly say Roderick Strong is a part of that. But not only that, I say here's the full out group. Because if we're going to go ahead and book it out as these amount of men, I'm saying Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, and the Kingdom.
Well,
that's the question. How many people were attacking at the time? Because that's
it looked like about 5 or so.
About five.
Without the devil?
Without the devil, I think.
Without the devil, I think it was like the 4 or 5 people.
Not accounting for.
Yeah, because I think without the devil, yeah, it had to be around 4 or 5. Because the first time that we saw him, it was 3 people ambushing. So you can already make out that was the Kingdom and
Roderick Strong, right?
Yeah, but the next time around, yeah. So yeah, just add Kyle O'Reilly to the mix, a returning Kyle O'Reilly. So yeah, those 5 individuals will make their showing tonight, and maybe within that, the reveal of the devil mask will be Adam Cole. That is what I'm promoting for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you guys see? Who's your winner? And do you see that taking place tonight?
I think the winner is easy here. I mean, Jay White is not going to win this title. And
the
bigger picture here is the MJF contract, which of course expires in February, correct? February?
I think so. The war for 2024.
Wasn't it January? I could have sworn it was January.
It might be January. I don't know exactly. But the thing is, you've heard this week, there have been multiple reports about Tony Khan really pushing hard and his efforts to retain the services of MJF. And
it sounds like MJF wants to stay in AEW. From what I've been listening to over the last couple of weeks, it sounds like he doesn't seem like he doesn't want to stay, at least in the interim. So there's that.
I think it goes back to that email that he always talks about with William Regal and how much he really holds that against him. If he does, I don't know where that really stands in terms of storyline and personal. And if he wants to go back there, knowing William Regal is now there again. And I mean, look, he doesn't have to deal with Vince anymore. So that's a huge plus. He doesn't have to worry about being 5 foot whatever and being the Jewish kid from Long Island. That's not going to matter anymore because Triple H doesn't do anybody like that. So, I mean, he'll have the keys to the castle within time. Now, granted, there are a lot of people coming. We know what's in the developmental. We know what's there. We know what's brewing. WWE has a loaded amount of talent where you could say, does MJF get lost in that? Can he outshine the people that are there? In time, I don't know. Right now, you could say he could be the big fish in the small pond without question.
All right.
Yes.
So I guess that makes sense for us. So do we see Adam Cole making a return tonight?
It depends on the severity of how badly he hurt his ankle. If he really severely hurt his ankle and they still want to go with the devil route, then he can always say that, I did it even with the injury to prove a point max, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If they aren't going that route and it's, everybody's expecting the devil to be revealed tonight, You don't want to string this along too much further, because then the fans are going to start to lose interest. And at the same time, the payoff has to be all of the things involved with MJF. Tomorrow would be the 19th. Will be his 1-year anniversary of being AEW World Champion. He's already now had the longest title reign in AEW history. And he's also, tonight, if he wins, he'll be the champion with the most successful title defenses in AEW history. They talked about this yesterday. So with all of those dynamics in place, the thought process is MJF should win if they're going to set up feuds down the road, especially with what they've done with Samoa Joe being his tag team partner early on in the show. Wouldn't it be interesting if, with all of this stuff being revealed, Samoa Joe costs him the tag team championships, and if the devil reveals himself to say it's Adam Cole, that Samoa Joe maybe took a payment on the side to get to Max, and this whole thing was part of the setup? That would be something interesting to throw in there. So,
right. For me, for me, always depended on how long Cole would be out.
Yes.
And one thing that I always wanted to go ahead and highlight was that they wanted to do World's End, right? It's gonna be in Long Island, right? I can't stress this enough. With MJF's contract looming, I said to myself, you know what? If it sounds like, as you said, MJF wants to stay, you're gonna have Adam Cole versus MJF for the AEW World Title again. But this time, make it something believable to where the fans are gonna sit there and be like, "Oh damn!" Because now with MJF's contract looming, with knowing what happened the first time around, and knowing that, okay, they're gonna want to go ahead and carry this through. Maybe this is what causes MJF to stay. Maybe you screw MJF out of winning the title, put it in the hands of Adam Cole. Find out the next week, once the new year kicks in, you're kind of sitting there saying to yourself, okay, does he come back? What happens? MJF goes off, off route for about a good month and a half, up until the point that Revolution comes around, where he comes back, states that he re-signed the contract with AEW, faces Adam Cole again. Third time's the charm, wins the title. Continue the story. But that's what I'm thinking of. But of course, with this injury, we don't know what the heck's going on.
Yes.
So I don't know if it's gonna be,
we don't even know as far as the extent, because we know wrestlers are very good at working the fans. Yes. We don't even know to the extent as to how really truly injured Adam Cole is. Now, we're not saying that he isn't hurt.
So we're not saying it's a work either, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
All we're saying is that, look, they have been used to go ahead and doing certain things and going off script and making us believe we've been around this circle for a long time.
Yes.
So i.e. Kevin Nash in a wheelchair takes off the blanket, shows it's a fake cast. We've been around for this a long time just to go ahead and know how this works. But still, maybe, just maybe, tonight is the night that we see a certain something happen, to the extent that, look, we're getting Adam Cole versus MJF at World's End. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm hopefully praying for, if it makes sense. Well, like Juan Mills says this. What'd you say?
No. Go to that. No.
He says Adam Cole is working harder than George. I'm not even good at. I'm not even. Bro,
that's a great line.
At least he's not reading the children's book, but okay.
Oh boy.
Listen, this is. Oh, here we go.
Does it make more sense for Copeland to pin Christian to set up the one-on-one match? This is probably going to earlier's tag team match.
Right.
It would, but I don't think it's. I think it's too early to try to get to that.
Well,
it hasn't been fully established yet. I can't sit there and just say to myself, okay, you know what? Yeah, have Copeland go ahead and pin Christian. Christian can't look vulnerable yet. That's the goal.
And that's why that's why he has the patriarchy around him.
Exactly.
To put obstacles in front of Luchasaurus here and Nick Wayne there and whoever else he might potentially get into the parental guidance for. That's what I think works.
There is a way to do it, though. It's not a bad idea. There's a way to do it where Christian can be suckered or something along the lines of where one of his own people could hit him and then Copeland spears him. So Christian, it's like a screwy finish where he does get pinned. There's always a way to do something.
And then remember, there's also the dynamic. Sting is in this, and they've been trying to layer this with is this going to be what's going to take the priority in this? Is it going to be we're moving towards Sting's retirement match at Revolution? So then he would factor heavily into the end, and Flair is in the corner. That might have something to do with it. Or are we going to progress that entire feud between Christian and Adam Copeland? And that's the heavier aspect that they do. Who knows? We might just get a Darby Allin coffin drop on Nick Wayne to finish the match.
Flair turns heel.
But, I mean, booking ahead, as we talked about the MJF and Adam Cole, I mean, we could really looking at here Copeland against Christian at War of the Worlds also. I mean, that's going to be for the TNT title. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that definitely work. I mean, I don't know.
Yes.
We'll see.
I mean, at least we'll see the seeds get planted tonight. So that's
right, and that could also be the Bucks FTR third match also. So that there's a lot that can happen leading to that card that will be gigantic. I mean,
they can really set this card up to be that really go home end of the year show that everybody wants to look forward to. If World's End turns out to be what we think it is going to be, then the match is already predetermined through Full Gear, and it's going to be looking fire.
Yes,
but we have to see how it goes. So, guys, let's see what happens within the next 8 hours, because of course Full Gear will be coming to you live on pay-per-view, not premium live event channel, but pay-per-view. I know most of us are probably going to go ahead and sit here watching at home. Maybe some of us will be going out for it. I don't know.
Illegally.
Yes.
What? But yeah, exactly. See, it makes sense.
Right.
But,
buy it. Give Tony Khan more money.
Tony
needs it drastically. Okay, guys.
Yes.
Hey.
I think Papa Khan is running out of money. What is he worth? $30 billion? I don't even know.
Yeah. So he totally needs it. So guys, pay for the pay-per-view, okay?
Yeah.
But with that being said, this marks the end of Saturday afternoon's main event, season 6, episode 16. We had fun with you guys today. We did all we said that we set out to conquer. We did what we had to do. That's
and
it.
Scat free.
Scat free, exactly right.
Yes.
Did you just use every punchline at the end of the show now?
Yeah, crazy enough. Yeah, funny.
Yes.
But there's the thing. We appreciate you guys. We thank you. You guys have always been stellar. You guys have come out for us. The questions, the viewership, everything that Same is made out to be currently. You guys have brought the fire to us, and we have kept it lit. So we just appreciate you guys for all the support, all the continued support, and all the support that we've gotten from the jump. Guys, we love you. We thank you. We appreciate you. We won't be having a show next week, of course. So look, we hope you enjoy your holiday. We hope you enjoy Survivor Series. We will reconvene the week after that. So look, we'll see you then. But with that being said, on this episode of Saturday Afternoon's Main Event, I, the phenomenal one.
I, the peeps Nate.
Mr. 411.
We came.
I'll go the old one. We broadcast.
That's it.
That's it. Exactly right. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we'll see you in 2 weeks. It's the phenomenal one. It's the peeps Nate. It's Mr. 411. Here on Saturday Afternoon's Main Event. Peace, love, farewell.